Intermittent fasting is holding you back from building muscle. Welcome to the video. My name is Trevor Lomax. I'm a registered dietitian who has worked with hundreds of dudes who want to get more swole than your average gym goer. And I'm not talking Planet Fitness. Intermittent fasting is still something I hear that guys want to try out all the time. And it's 2022. What the hell are we doing, guys? They come to me saying that they want to use it to lose fat while they build muscle, or they want their body to be more efficient at utilizing fat, or they want to just do it to be healthier. Holy shit, I'm about to go blind rolling my eyes so hard. Let's look at what intermittent fasting is so that we can talk about why it's holding you back from building muscle, and I can sleep better at night knowing that you're getting so goddamn swole. Intermittent fasting is actually a blanket term, and it's not really what people are doing when they say that they're doing it. They're actually doing what's called time-restricted feeding, which is what it's called in the literature. Time-restricted feeding is when you're choosing a window of the day in which you're going to consume all of your calories, macronutrients, and micronutrients, and then the rest of the day, usually a majority, you're fasting. This usually comes in a ratio of 8 to 16, so 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting. A very typical window could be something like eating starting at 10 a.m. up until 6 p.m. and then fasting from 6 p.m. until 10 a.m. the next day. Time-restricted feeding is less researched and has less positive outcomes than intermittent fasting, which in its traditional form is called alternate day fasting. This is named very appropriately because this consists of fasting for one full day and then the next day eating ad libitum or at liberty and then switching between the two. And just because if you look into this, you're going to see another version called 5-2, which is 5 days of eating ad libitum with 2 days of fasting mixed in there. When we see what fasting is actually good for, we see that intermittent fasting is pretty consistent in improving insulin sensitivity and blood pressure in those with prediabetes and high blood pressure, respectively. However, many people use intermittent fasting for weight loss or fat loss. When we look at the studies here, we see that intermittent fasting is no better than a traditional continuous caloric restriction for both weight loss and fat loss. What about for building muscle though? Are there any benefits there? Well, when you search any kind of terms such as intermittent fasting, time-restricted feeding, along with something like hypertrophy or muscle building, you only get one controlled trial and one systematic review, which is behind a paywall. That should already tell you that there's not much money in studying this subject and probably hint at what is to come. But let's take a look. The one randomized control trial was done in women who were resistance trained, and they saw no better effects than just the control, which was the same diet with no intermittent fasting. Before we talk about what's really gonna move the needle, smash that like button if you're making some brain gains. If you've watched some of my videos before, you may already be a master at the mechanics of building muscle. You usually need a calorie surplus, a strong stimulus from resistance training, the proper distribution of macronutrients, and high protein feeding spaced throughout the day. Now, there's other stuff that helps, but this is the main bread and butter. When we look at achieving those things throughout the day versus an 8-hour window, we're really just making our lives a living hell. If you've been in the game for, say, more than a year and you have to eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories per day with 180 to 200, if not more, grams of protein per day, then you know that getting this in consistently in a 16-hour day is already hard enough. The biggest dudes aren't fasting because it holds you back from the things that are important, like getting in enough calories in the day, eating enough protein, getting in enough carbohydrates before you work out for high quality lifts, and spacing out your protein throughout the day to maximize muscle protein synthesis. Look, if you want to get huge, then don't listen to fitfluencers who pick something up because it works for them or because they get paid to talk about it. Do the shit that matters and get swole, brother. And if you heard any concept in this video that you don't fully 100% understand, then check out this video I made about protein intake and go watch the Build Muscle playlist on my YouTube. Subscribe for more gains and smash that like button for my ego. Thanks for watching. See you soon.